My name is Monica. I currently work as an administrator at a healthcare centre, and I've had eczema my whole life. On a daily basis, it's things as simple as washing my hands multiple times a day. During COVID, it's things as simple as it being cold, my hands are cracking, or where the affected areas are maybe cracking because of the weather conditions. If it's too warm, sweat getting into the creases, it burns. There's so many little things that people take for granted that I covet on a daily basis. I would love to be able to have the freedom of washing my hands without immediately needing to moisturize them. People will ask you what's actually happened, or what's wrong with your skin, and sometimes in a sympathetic way, but sometimes in a more malicious type of way. And these kind of scenarios, they can be a make or break situation for when your confidence is building, especially in your teenage years. This could be the moment that makes you feel as though you're not the same as everyone else, and that you're not good enough, or just something along those lines. So it's a very debilitating disease to live with. I've actually woken up itching before. I've had multiple occasions where I may have eaten something that was inflammatory to my skin, and I may not have known at the time. And I've woken up in, almost like an episode, I would call it, of an itch where it's just uncontrollable, and people will tell you to not itch. I've had people saying that, me itching makes them want to itch, or people just feel uncomfortable quite generally when you're having one of these moments. And I can understand it if you've never had to deal with it before. But when you're feeling that kind of sensation, the only thing that you're thinking is, I need to deal with it now. The itching tends to come with mental health as well. I personally experience that my skin and my flare-ups are very connected to my mental health. And if I'm not feeling so great mentally, I tend to find that I might be itching constantly, or have moments where I'm, itching and I don't even realize. I find myself itching and it's subconscious, and I'll take a moment. I'll be like, oh no, I need to stop. And honestly, it's really, really a difficult thing to deal with. No matter how many different creams you try, I've tried steroids that do help a little bit with the itching. They will subside the need to itch for a moment, but it always returns. I've tried antihistamines as well. That does sometimes also help. But I've always found that no matter what, the itching is not something that can be subsided. I would say growing up, eczema affected my social life, terribly. I just wasn't confident when I was younger. And although I did find confidence through other things, I did find myself constantly wearing long sleeves, wearing long skirts to cover my knees, because I would get eczema at the back of my knees in the summer, wearing gloves, even when it was no longer winter time. I had people saying, don't wear the gloves anymore, you're just making it worse. But it's honestly just so embarrassing at times when people ask you, what happened to you? Did you get burned? Especially with darker skin tones, what you find is that the eczema is quite a dark shade, so it can just appear as though you've been burnt or something has happened to you. So a lot of people assume that, something is wrong. And even just those questions can make you feel like you don't want to leave the house. Luckily, I had experiences with people that always made me feel as though I was beautiful regardless of the eczema. But it can be something really, really difficult to get past when you're growing up, especially. What really helped me with my eczema was actually having other people who suffer from eczema in my life too. One of my closest friends actually has eczema as well. And when I first met her, she had this confidence that I just didn't have at the time. And seeing somebody else having the same condition that I did, in the same kind of way, on her fingers, in places that were very visible, still managing to be confident and outspoken and not feeling like that was what's going to hold her back, allowed me to feel free and like I should also just, help other people feel better about their skin. So that's something that I definitely try and do. I think helping other people is what helps me stay positive, and just seeing how eczema doesn't have to be the end all be all for, your life. You can find ways to live with it. You can find ways to feel good with eczema as well. I would say that knowing that I can't control how long I have it, I can't control anything about it. It's probably one of the most difficult things. And also knowing that if I am to have a family one day, I will possibly give the eczema to my children as well. I think because I witnessed my younger siblings going through it, my whole family basically has eczema. So we all have the same symptoms, the same problems. We understand each other and we can help each other. But I've seen how that can affect confidence through myself and through other people. And I just don't want anybody else to have to go through that. And with myself, I think what I find the most difficult is the mental health sometimes. Because my mental health, is already affected by other things sometimes. So when that then becomes a domino effect of my eczema being affected as well, what tends to happen is it's a spiral, it's a cycle, because then I don't feel good about my skin, which then also makes me not feel good about my mental health. And then, not feel good and affect my mental health. Therefore, it just keeps going round and round and round, and nothing makes, the situation better. That's the only way to put it, that there's no cure, there's no way to stop this. I think that's the most devastating part about it for me.